It's Tuesday. Are you ready for session 2 of our 5-day plan of Have a New Kid by Friday? You know, if your kid's sporting a Tude, this is a session designed just for you. I'm telling you, you can turn that kid around in no time at all. Whether they're a professional eye roller or door slammer or just always got that wonderful word, whatever. This session is designed for you. So enjoy Tuesday. And remember, Friday's just around the corner. Oh, and by the way, you're going to see some little vignettes. Any resemblance to you or your kids in these little vignettes is thoroughly coincidental.
Hey, kiddo.
Oh, Mom, really? Are you like on a roll or something? Chicken again. Heat chicken. Gosh, I wonder what we're gonna have for tomorrow night. Chicken. God. Mom, you have to take me to Miranda's. We're gonna study.
We're not going to Miranda's.
What does that even mean, we're not going to Miranda's? Do you, like, not even realize that it's Tuesday? I always go to Miranda's on Tuesday. Duh.
We're not going to Miranda's because I don't appreciate the way you talked to me tonight at dinner.
What? Great. Ever. Hi, Miranda, it's me. I guess I'm not coming over tonight. It's so stupid. No, my mom, she said that she didn't like the way I talked to her at dinner or something. I don't know. And then she's totally freaked out. She went just like ballistic. It's probably not even safe to have her drive. I just get pulled over like 50,000 trillion times. It's so dumb. I know, it sucks. Whatever. Ugh. No, I gotta go. I'm getting another call. Okay, bye.
It's Tuesday. Does it seem like Tuesday to you? It may not be Tuesday, but it's Tuesday, trust me. And Have a New Kid by Friday. This session I call Disarming the Dude or Dudette with a Tude. So if your kid's sporting a Tude of one kind or another, how do you disarm that, okay? And we talk about attitude, behavior, and character, and of course, the toughest of those is character. Again, I just think that's so important to understand that this gets back to the life you live. Now, not many people know this, but the one thing I never wanted to be in life was a Christian. I mean, I avoided Christians like the plague. And my mother, God bless her, she dragged me to church as a kid. I heard all those Bible stories and all that, but I wanted no part of Christianity. I thought Christians were the geekiest people known to mankind. And she had a plaque she put on my wall, my bedroom, and I was embarrassed by it. I hated it. And it said, only one life will soon be past, only what's done for Christ will last. Now, I'm 68 years old, if you're curious. I mean, I'm near death. And I just repeated that, didn't I? And sometimes as a parent, you know, you do things that aren't popular. Sometimes you do things with your kids that you think are never going to pay off. They paid off. What I remember best about my mom is coming down in the morning, and there she'd be reading her Bible, or she'd have her head hung over in prayer. I mean, this was a woman who loved God. And she prayed for her boy, you know. God always uses what? Very imperfect, ordinary people to change people's lives. I got in college. On probation with a 12-unit load, eked out a C- average, which is proof of the living God when you think about it. But long story short, I became a janitor in a hospital, met my wife-to-be, Mrs. Uppington, in the men's restroom of that hospital. I mean, you talk about a life that should have gone a different direction. And when she asked me, after about 3 months of dating, I mean, I smoked Salem cigarettes. I mean, I was a punk. I was just a punk. I had a cap front tooth and worn a chip through it, you know, so I had a big spot in the middle. I was a looker. I always said women have this ability to look inside rather than us men. But, you know, Sandy, as a kid, prayed to God for a man of character. And God gave her a character. Sometimes God throws you a curveball. But you know what? When she asked me, would you like to go to church with me? I remember thinking, oh no, she's one of them. I mean, what do you say? What do you say to this chick that wants you to go to church? You say, oh, I'd love to go to church. I was lying through my teeth. I don't want to go to church. I remember sitting in her church thinking, no chick's worth this. And then she wanted me to come at night. Why would you go to church at night? You already been there in the morning. You didn't do it right? But see, my life changed. But this pastor was talking about the guy who knew who Jesus Christ was in his head, didn't know who he was in his heart. I'm just telling, and everything that happened that night was supernatural. I mean, my life did a 180. But look at that mother of mine, and look at the faith that she had in God. Look at the prayer that she gave for her kid. And I'm so thankful she got to live, to see some of the things that her little baby cub of the 3 Leman cubs did in life. And so see, that's why I say, this character thing, kids just don't fall in line and have character. That has to be honed by fire sometimes, and kids go through some things. But you're steady, you know, you're the captain or co-captain of the good ship family, and you're going to go through some rough seas. And there's times you got to throw that life preserver out there, but you have to have a port of call. And here's my question. Do you know where you're going? Do you know where you're going? Do you know where your family's going? Do you have this synergy where mom and dad are on the same page and this is where we're going? And I'll tell you, kids are they're gonna buck it. They're not always gonna like it. You know, we heard the one girl say, well, I can't come over time. I don't know what's going on with my mom. She's freaking out over something. I didn't like the way I talk, whatever. I mean, you're gonna have those moments. That's part of what being a parent is really all about. But there's 3 simple strategies that will help you through all this. And this is sort of the bread and butter of having a new kid by Friday. Number 1 is let the reality of the situation become the teacher to the child. Now, there's all kinds of problems I could pull up and give as an example to let reality be the teacher. But I think of this woman. Some people you deal with in life are just hard to forget. And this woman made an appointment to see me, okay? So she comes in and we're talking, and you know, you want to know, you know, is the guy that's going to work with this family or this person? What are you here for, lady? Oh, it's my son. All right, what's the problem with your son? Oh, he doesn't eat. What do you mean he doesn't eat? Doesn't eat anything? Oh no, he eats pizza, French fries without salt, hamburgers with ketchup only, no cheese, and chicken McNuggets. Health food, health food. I said, lady, that's why you're here? I mean, seeing me cost a few bucks, okay? And I said, lady, you could have called the office. My assistant could have told you what to do on that one. I said, but as long as you're here, let's go through it. Okay, I don't know, give me a meal you know he hates. She says, well, he hates spaghetti, and we're Italian. I said, well, can you fix spaghetti tonight? And she said, yeah, I'd have to get some ground beef, but yeah, that's an easy meal, yeah. I said, well, just do one thing different. She said, what's that? I said, don't call him for dinner. Don't set a place setting for him. Now, you got to imagine this, okay? The kid walks in to dinner. No one's called him. The 2 younger children are wolfing down their spaghetti with mom and dad. And he walks in with, she said, this mystified look on his face. All right, what's going on here? And she looked up from the table and said, honey, nothing's going on. We're having dinner. Well, where's mine? Well, honey, we're having spaghetti tonight. Now listen to what she says. And you know how you hate spaghetti. Curveball. She said the kid turned around and went over and looked at the spaghetti on the stove and then moved over there where the meatballs and sauce were. took a whiff with his nose, turned, looked at his mom and said, Mom, I think I could eat that spaghetti. Serve yourself, honey. End of problema. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the ship is leaving. When you get overly concerned with what goes in your kid's mouth, or what comes out the other end for that matter, we got eating, we got going potty, and sleeping, okay? Those are battlegrounds for parents. You know, you got a kid that keeps coming out of bed at night, a young kid, hold the door. Just hold the door. Give your husband something to do. And let him hold the door. But here's the kicker. Don't say a word. And speaking of kicker, I got news for you. There's 3 and 4-year-olds that'll kick a door pretty hard. And not to say a word when a kid's kicking a door takes tremendous what? Discipline and willpower. Okay? So you hold the door. After a while, that kid will settle down. Now, when he or she settles down, and not until there's not a peep out of him, do you open that door slowly. Why do I say slowly? Because they're curled up behind it with their blankie, you know. Daddy, I want you to leave the door open. I mean, they'll con you, you know. Honey, I'll leave the door open, but you need to stay in bed. And you gotta leave the light on. I'll leave the night light. I'll leave the night light on too, but you're gonna stay in bed. I call that parental poker. And you have to understand, as a parent, you got 4 aces. You just need to play them. I can make you stay in bed. That's not a problem. So letting reality be the teacher, the reality of the situation. I mean, let me ask you a personal question. This goes back to going potty. I hope you don't mind answering it, but it's personal. How many of you today, right here in our audience, have gone potty? Now, is there any parent here that was given an M&M for going? Do you see the kind of stuff we come up with? I mean, we laugh, but this is what parents come up with. My kid went potty, I'm giving him an M&M. All it's gonna do is, you know, give him high cholesterol and plug his veins someday. It's crazy what we do in the name of parenting. And so much of this stuff is trial and error. You're walking through the house. You look down the hallway. Your little 19-month-old son is sitting on the big potty. Not the little one you bought at Walmart, the little plastic one, the big one. What do you do? I mean, you're amazed, and you walk over. And you look down there, and there's a little 4.5-incher floating in the toilet. Well, what do you say? John, come here, see what your son has just done. John puts the newspaper, goes over and goes, oh, hey, good going there, buddy. That really, you know. Now, here's my question. What is the 19-month-old thinking? Oh, they're big on that. They're big on, and see, kids know, and they'll use those things to sort of beat you over the head with. And parents read so many things into appropriate behavior. Here's a little guy. He's, let's make him 11 months old. And he's walking along a built-in bookcase in your home, okay? And he's just walking along with the help of the bookcase, and he goes, plunk, and a book falls. Plunk, book number 2's on the ground. Plunk, number 3. And you're looking at him saying, honey, don't do that. No. Now, parents overuse the word no. By the time a kid's 2, they're mother deaf to no. Okay? You're much better with a little ankle biter like that. If they're doing something you don't want them to do, pick them up and just divert them to something else. Now, this kid who continues to do it, why is he doing it? Well, because he's willfully disobedient. I'll tell you that, Dr. Leman. Let me tell you a thing or two. Kids today are willfully disobedient. Time out. You're wrong. This is a kid who's engaging in developmentally appropriate behavior. Don't read into things that aren't, he's not being defiant, okay? He's doing things that 11-month-old children like to do. It's called cause and effect. You could hand this kid $5,000 vases, one at a time. Crash. Ooh, I like that. Here we go. Crash. They just like the cause and effect. It's that part of their life where they're, understanding and discovering the world around them. So you have to temper, you have to know there's a difference when a 4-year-old defiantly looks you in the eye and you ask him to do something and he says, no. That's defiance. That's something you want to be on top of because you are the what? The authority in the family, okay? And that's a God-given responsibility that each of us have as moms and dads. How about this one? Learn to respond rather than react. I gave you let reality be the teacher. Learn to respond rather than react. Most of us react. That's what we do. We get mad. We get angry. I mean, how many times across America or Canada does the milk spill? Does the orange juice topple? Does the jam hit the floor or the syrup? And what happens at those points in life? Oh, would you look at that? Didn't I just tell you be careful? What is wrong with you anyway? You are going to end up just like your Uncle Roger. Do you remember your Uncle Roger? At that point, we don't need a berating. We don't need an anger thing out of you. What we need is a rag. When you think about it, because the Christian home needs to be a place where kids learn that failure is a part of life. We get the rag, pick it up, and life goes on. Okay? You don't make a mountain out of a molehill. It's as simple as that. So, again, these things tend to work. There you are, you live in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's a Saturday morning. You're having breakfast with your little 9-year-old son. He looks up at you and he says, Mommy, I want a pony. A pony? She's got a deep voice. A pony? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. I'm telling you, if a bird had your brain, he'd fly sideways. What is wrong with you? A pony. Now, you're the adult. Do you think you could learn to respond instead of react? Same situation. That little 9-year-old looks up at you and says, Mommy, I want a pony. A pony? Wow. Can you imagine having your own pony? Can you imagine in the morning riding down to school on your pony? Going by all the kids at the bus stop? On your pony? Coming down to school, tying that little pony up outside? Bell rings at lunchtime, all the kids go to the cafeteria, not you. You got to check on your pony. And the little kid says, yeah, but we live in an apartment. We can't have a pony. Kid will figure it out. Haim Ganat years ago said, grant in fantasy what you can't in reality. I always loved that. Grant in fantasy what you can't in reality. Oh, wouldn't that be great? Or your 17-year-old says, I'm going to get a Corvette. Well, it seems to me your grades better improve real good, buddy, if you're going to get a Corvette. Parent, do you think you could say, wow, a Corvette? Wow. Are you talking about like an old classic, a 58 with the double lights, or the 61 or the 64 classic? Or are you talking about a new one? Talk. Parents say, hey, my kids don't talk to me. Talk. Your kid brings up something. It's a beautiful opportunity to talk whatever they want to talk to. Talk to them about. Just keep that dialogue going on. And part of this is defining for yourself what's a molehill and what's a mountain. Now, we have 5 kids. Kevin, he writes ads for TV. He's done so many different things. But at age 15, I'll never forget the moment, because he came to the dinner table and he announced. Men and boys announce things. Like a husband, meets his sales quota at work and he comes home and he announces, we're going to Hawaii. This concludes the male responsibility for the Hawaiian trip. The woman takes care of the other minor details of the trip. Well, teenage boys are the same way. So Kevin comes to the dinner table one night. He just blurts out. No preface to it, just flat out. He says, I'm going to get an earring. Well, I wish you could have seen Mrs. Uppington. My wife freaked out. And every time Kevin looked away, she's looking at me like, I said something glib like, pass the green beans. I wasn't going there. And after dinner, I'm telling you, and my wife is mild, gentle, spirited lady. She's in my face. Kevin Leman, why didn't you say something? I do not want him to get an earring. You do not let him get an earring. I want you to talk with him tonight about no earring. I did something really outrageous. I went and got an earring. And I showed up at the dinner table with an earring. And I knew he'd see it. He's wolfing down his dinner. He doesn't notice it. I had to do one of these things where I did this stretch over here so he could see the little glimmer in the ear. And all of a sudden he looked at it. And his eyes narrowed. And he looked at me and he said, "You look absolutely ridiculous." I said, "Really?" I said, "Your mom likes it." Well, friends, he was 15. He just turned 33. I don't think we're going to see an earring. I don't think it's going to happen. See, that's a molehill. Who cares? I would pay more attention to your kid's heart. And I'd like you to ask yourself these questions. What is your attitude toward your kids? What kind of attitude comes across? Are you Miss Know-It-All or Mr. Know-It-All? If you are, they're going to battle you. What does your behavior reveal about your attitude? I mean, do yourself a little gut check. I think if you want to be a good parent, you got to understand that sometimes we come across the wrong way. What changes do you need to make in your behavior? Now, again, once you get into this study guide and you're seeing, okay, I want the new kid by Friday, as you've already discovered, you need to be a new you by Friday for the kids to, in fact, turn their behavior around. And then what kind of character do you want to be known for? And how do you get there? You know, I always make the statement, the kids are always looking up. They're taking emotional notes, spiritual notes on how we live our lives. It's just simple kind of stuff. But keep that in mind as you go through this Tuesday session. The character is the one. You just don't push a bunch of buttons. You just don't let reality be the teacher. With character, you are who you are. And don't think your kids don't know the difference between who you say you are and who you really are.